happening. Man, there's this concept, man, of where it's called a puppet dictator, okay? Like a lot of the times, man, like it seems like most of these people that they claimed were these like dangerous political leader types have all really just been puppet dictators, just hand chosen just to play a role. I mean, for instance, you had Ronald Reagan and he was an actor, okay? Think about it. You have an actor who's president, okay? And it's obvious the vice president, George Bush, the head of the CIA, really was running the country behind the scenes with him, with his son, possibly even Obama. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I can't prove that now, but he could still be to some degree part of the political system through the head in the jar Illuminati card deck card. That's just my conjecture and my humble opinion right there, but I don't know. It wouldn't surprise me if it was true. But normally they do this type of stuff, this political theater, which means, look, more like an actor. Like they even call them state-sponsored actors. Like me, I'd be a non-state actor, so therefore that's a way they can kind of categorize me as the like real journalist types, real truth teller types, true whistleblowers. Like, listen, that's a false whistleblower on this whole fake book thing. I mean, it sucks. I had a lot of fun on fake book, but unfortunately, it was just a freaking social engineering, intelligence, data gathering, harvesting of what is it called? Your intellectual property and your other personal information, even your biometrics, dude. Like now they can green screen you and put your face on an actor's face. And I mean, this is the fakeness of the world we live in. Like, for instance, man, yeah, I mean, you had Sonny Bono, frickin', who was a small-time actor and a musician. He ended up becoming a frickin' in politics in Florida, I think, or was it Colorado? I can't remember. But you had Arnold Schwarzenegger. He was also a freaking actor, and he's associated with politics. He got in there. Jesse Ventura. You know what I'm saying? Which, you know, I used to love his show, Conspiracy Theory, a great show. Like, kind of, it'll blow your mind. He had true facts, man. Like, that was helpful. But, once again, he's also an actor who went into politics. So, I mean, it kind of shows you there's kind of a... Look, Donald Trump was in movies, and he also was on freaking pro wrestling, all right? He beat up Ed McMahon, I think, if I recall correctly. So, I mean, look, he has... in a background, a backdrop in theatrics, man. I mean, and unfortunately, it's like, look, all these figureheads, Elon Musk, frickin' Mark Zuckerberg, Bill Gates. They're fake. They're just proxies. Like they were cutouts for some other party, some other trust, some other corporation, some maritime amnesty, frickin' multinational entity person of the law of the sea is really backing these people financially, and without that, and then they're also pulling the strings through the lobby with the politicians and congressmen and whatnot, and changing things behind the scenes that makes it legalized for these people to use this legalese loophole to you know undermine the political system and legal system, dude. And they're all working in concert, but it's just like president to some extent is just a figurehead. I mean, it's just ceremonial. I mean, I believe, secretly, we had a lifelong king type through George Bush Sr. because he's been running stuff since they whacked Kennedy. You know what I'm saying? Behind the scenes, my humble opinion. You know what I'm saying? And so it's like things are not as they seem. It's like, look, there is no. They give you the illusion of choice. I mean, down in South America, they when they put in a puppet dictator, when they install somebody and they want this nation to go communistic, because communistics are easier to run with less money, and they're already like conquered from within, so they'll just topple on themselves at some point because it's just a ridiculous system of commodifying people, you know what I'm saying, and demoralizing and dehumanizing and diminishing people, you know what I'm saying. So But it's like it wouldn't surprise me if our president isn't the real president. Like like if he's not like the movie The Manchurian Candidate with Denzel Washington. If like somehow he's one of them types, like straight up, or is he just really a synthetic clone, robotoid type uh, cyborg thing, and some other like since somebody else, just like George Bush used to run things from behind the scenes, are running this guy from behind the scenes. And then at the same time, all the money and the legalistics is backing the guy who's using the guy as a cardboard cutout. And it's like same thing. You could get this guy and have him up on a podium. He's they assassinate him, freaking and it doesn't mean anything. Nobody he ain't shizzle anyway. He's not even human. It's a synth robotoid. Like there's this movie called The Boys from Brazil where there was like 28 clones of Hitler distributed through all countries, growing up in the exact same engineered circumstances, just like it was in like the Truman Show. Like they replicated the same exact dynamic in 28 different pockets or cells around the planet. I mean, it was an excellent movie, but I mean, Operation Paperclip. I mean, for instance, could Hitler have been a puppet dictator to some extent, like Saddam Hussein, or this, or just a straw man, boogeyman, who's actually doesn't even exist anymore? It's just a freaking totally disinformation, like Osama bin Laden. You know what I'm saying? And then they just whack him and throw him in the water, wrapped up like a mummy, and you can't even ID his face. And I mean, it's like Jesse James. They supposedly there's a conspiracy theory that they took some guy that looked like him but didn't even look like him. They just shot him in the head and they took a picture of it and they sent it to the public, and the public believed it to some extent. But really, it was an old school emergency relocation thing, or what is it? Identity witness protection program. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I know that's. I mean, I'm just saying this is fake, and these people, these political types, and also like people of reputation, sometimes are just really just figureheads, and they're used. It's like the guy, what was this called, the Mandarin, and I just seen him. He was in another movie, but it was in like Iron Man 3, where it was this fake guy who they're saying was this terrorist, and it was really a failed actor, and he had a British accent, and he was just like a drug addict, and they human trafficked him and kept feeding him drugs to keep him wasted if he kept acting this role. And it was made like in a Hollywood basement, like it was all green screen, kind of like these kind of weird beheadings videos that were coming out. The first generation, first wave of them, I forgot which year it was, like 2008, 2010. No, maybe it's 11 or 12. But anyway, it was all scripted, and at best you could say it was a puppet dictator. And literally, in a way, a foreign government wants your natural resources, right? So they're like, all right, we need to back these guys and push their agenda so they get in control, because then we can conquer them later and just and if we can't conquer them, we can bribe them and still get access to their goods. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like a kind of fire insurance. We scratch your back, you scratch our back, type of a mafioso type of a situation. But basically, all this political stuff is stunts and mafias, and it's political theater, and it's also like kangaroo court, and it's de facto, and it's anti-constitutional. It's basically an inversion of what it's supposed to be, and it's like totally something else, imposturing as. And I mean, that's the whole thing. They get people to play the part, but they really have